Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Natalie Payne with PTG Consulting, and thank you so much for joining us for this webinar today about the K Club. We have John Costelloe as well. Hi, John.
Hi, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us today.
John is the Director of Sales at the K Club, and I know that you're going to really love seeing this property. It's such an iconic property, but man, you've had a lot of changes over the last few years with new ownership right?
Really, yeah, no, we have, and through new ownership, and it's I suppose, a very independent owner that has the property. He's really breathing, I suppose, new love and energy into it, and is very, very close to the project in terms of that investment that's going in, and it's going into every aspect of the property as well, which is really great for the guest ultimately.
Perfect. Well, we are excited to hear more about it. I'm going to ask that everyone put your questions in the chat, and we'll open it up at the end for John for Q&A, but I'm going to turn it over to you.
Super. Thanks very much, Natalie. So welcome to the K Club. As you can see, it's a beautiful country resort property with a historic house at the center of it. It's a 550-acre estate and is located 30 minutes from Dublin City and 30 minutes from Dublin Airport. As I said, the property was taken over by a new owner about 2 years ago. Michael Featherston is his name. He and his family have taken over the property, and they live on site. They're in touch with us on a daily basis. This is the only property they own, the only luxury hotel that they own, and I suppose their impact on the property is not just across investment, but across the culture, which I think is incredible. And I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we journey through the presentation. So first of all, as I said, the location, here we are. We're just 30 minutes from the city, 30 minutes from the airport. That means that quite often the property is the first or last stop on a trip around Ireland. We are often referred to as Ireland's leading airport hotel, believe it or not. And that's more of a joke than anything else. So just 30 minutes from the airport. So it's a great last 2 or 3 night stop. It's also a great stop or a great property for a multi-city trip to Europe. So if your client is traveling to, say, London and Paris, and they're going to do Dublin as well, and maybe 3, 4, 5 nights, then the K Club is great because you're close enough to the city to pop in and out, but you are very much in the countryside, so you get that Irish country experience, which Ireland is really all about, is the countryside at the end of the day. So that's often how it's used. On to a few of the other kind of experiences in the area. Guinness Storehouse in the top left, Ireland's #1 visitor attraction. It's even less than half an hour. It's about 25 minutes from the K Club on the way into the city. You've also got the National Stud and the Curragh Racecourse very close by here. And I suppose that leads on. Kildare, which is the county that the K Club is based in, is home to Ireland's equine industry. So we're surrounded by stud farms and race courses, and that's a really great, I suppose, thing for people to visit and to experience. You can go behind the scenes and visit some lovely stud farms. You can go racing if that's on whilst you're here, and it's a lovely glamorous affair. In Ireland, everyone gets dressed up, and there's big hats, there's big colour, and we're very involved in that as well. So we would often host kind of parties around the races and that kind of thing at the hotel. So there's always a nice vibe, a nice energy, a nice experience, and a nice culture going on when they're on. So just to focus on the estate itself, up in the center, as you saw, you have the main house, which is the hotel and has all the bedrooms and some restaurant spaces and public spaces. Then we also have the Palmer, which houses our lifestyle restaurant, and South, which houses our latest addition to our restaurant portfolio, and it's a very casual eatery. It's burgers and beers, it's pizza and wine, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that. We also have Straffan House, which is our ultra luxury property, which includes 8 bedrooms and 2 guest bedrooms and a guest cottage, and I'll show you a little bit more about that. We also have the Straffan Inn, which is the local village pub, and is about a 5-minute cycle from the hotel. The estate actually owns the pub, but it is the village pub, and it's an essential part of a visit to the K Club. So just to give you a little bit of history, the original house was built by the Barton family in 1832. So the interesting thing about the Bartons is that in the 1700s, they left Ireland and went to France, went to Bordeaux, where they opened a winery called Barton and Gustrier. And they made wine. And for years and years, they were making wine. And then due to the outbreak of war in France, they fled back to Ireland and bought the estate here at Straffan and built the house. To this day, Barton and Gustier in Bordeaux produce every year for us. They produce our own special wine. So we have a sommelier here called Lisa. She's a lovely lady who's been with the property for over 20 years. Lisa travels to Bordeaux 3 or 4 times a year to visit the winery, and every year she helps to create our special blend of wine for the following year. So it's a lovely, I suppose, special product, a special aspect of what you can do when you come here. You can meet Lisa and go and visit the wine cellars here in the house with her, and do a tasting, do a cheese and wine tasting, and she can tell you all about the history and all about the wines. And there's a lovely wine story that she tells that joins all the dots in a very easy way for people to understand, whether they're experts in wine or whether it's the first time they've done a tasting. She's very much able to carry that story through. This is the weir. So on the estate we have the River Liffey, and there's a mile of the River Liffey running through the estate. That's the same river that divides Dublin north and south. So beautiful part of the countryside, of course, with the river running through it. And one of the things we're planning on doing next year with the weir is actually generating power from it as part of our sustainability program. So we're doing lots and lots of activities from a sustainability perspective, as you would expect. But this is, I suppose, a fairly unique project, and it is something that existed back in the 1800s, where power was actually generated from the weir for the house. And we're going to try to re-energize that next year. And we've got a whole project working on in the background on it at the moment. So an exciting one for our sustainability program. Here we have the lobby of the hotel. So this was completely refurbished about 1.5 years ago. It's a beautiful, bright space now. Lots of lovely natural daylight flowing into it, and lots of nice pops of color in there as well. So some of the public spaces of the hotel, and great spaces where we serve afternoon tea as well. And a lot of these have been refurbished, like this one here, which is the Rococo Hall. And on next to show you one of our first, our signature restaurant, really, the Barton. So named after the family that built the house, the Barton family. It is it is our fine dining restaurant. We serve dinner here every evening. It's a very elegant affair, but there's a lot of character to it as well. There's cheese trolleys and that kind of thing that come through the restaurant. So there's a nice experience to it. Located right next door to the restaurant is the Blue Martini. And the Blue Martini is the home of John, who's lived there for 25 years. I'm sure he'd appreciate me putting it that way. John is the head of beverage for the whole resort, and is a fantastic character. He has seen many a late night, many a great party at the resort over the years. And the Blue Martini has been refurbished just about 1.5 years ago as well. So again, lovely pops of color there, and there's a nice kind of 1920s kind of vibe to it all. It also has a lovely terrace where you can sit outside and have a cocktail overlooking the formal gardens of the hotel. Just a great space for pre-dinner drinks, or late into the night drinks too. So next is the Palmer, and this is our lifestyle restaurant up on the second floor. The Palmer restaurant, located in the Palmer Clubhouse. Very much a newly renovated space, but very much, I suppose, the concept is steak, seafood, and a little bit more. There's a 3,000 square foot terrace with a fully retractable roof and wind down windows as well. As you can see in this image, you've got your fire pits, you've got a lovely sunset that in the background where the sun sets in that corner. So it's a great place for cocktails, pre-dinner in the restaurant, which is the next image here. So nice place to get dressed up and go for a lovely meal. We also have some lovely private dining space here, so great for a family gathering, a birthday party, or some sort of a celebration that might be going on. Again, great views out over the 18th hole of the Palmer North Golf Course, and onto the terrace there as well. So this is our latest creation, and this is South Bar and Restaurant. And South Bar opened just a couple of months ago, early summer 2022. It's the big, bold cousin of the Palmer. It's burgers and beers. It's pizza and wine. The chicken burger is awesome. The chicken wings are hot. There's a lot of color, as you can see in the various spaces. And again, a really great terrace, reclinable windows. There's a lovely outdoor feel to it. Really, really great space, and one that we're very, very proud of. Great for groups of friends, great for families, and yeah, just definitely a place to check out when your guests are coming to the K Club. In the village, we have the Straffan Inn. So the Straffan Inn is your quintessential Irish village pub. Historically, it's been a pub for 70 years, but prior to that, it was actually the local police station, the local Garda station, before that, which is pretty fun. Enda is the guy at the Straffan Inn, and he's the one that takes care of everyone there. It's a good place for a pint of Guinness. It's a good place for a whiskey, and there's a lovely outdoor area there as well. So great space to go down and hang out with the locals, and it's very much the local pub. It is the only pub in the village, and yeah, you'll definitely get to meet some locals there. So on to the spa. So we have a beautiful spa here at the K Club, and we've two amazing products. Nacho Bise, which is a very premium product from Barcelona, and we have Ground, which is a newly introduced product, which is actually made here in Ireland. It's made about 2 hours drive away from the resort, and is a homemade product. It's a very, very natural product, and we've got some amazing treatments assigned and allocated essentially with each of the different products. So the Ground one though is very, very special, and I suppose is a lovely new product with a lovely new story to it. It was created during lockdown at home in Pegging, who is the owner of it, in her kitchen, and it continues to be a homemade product to this day. So lovely, lovely product there. On to some activities and the cycling. Just to begin with, on the resort, we've got 6 kilometers of trails where you can go walking, cycling, or running, and those were all developed again during the lockdown, over the last couple of years during COVID. We've brought on some great new team members as well. Adam here on the right is there to help with activities for kids. He's also a fitness instructor, a personal trainer, so he does all manners of different programs in the gym, but also does cycling clubs and running clubs for all of our guests throughout the summer as well. We have, as I said earlier on, we have Lisa, who is our sommelier and has been with the property for over 20 years. She has the joy, I suppose, of the cellars below the house, which are really, really magnificent and are proper working cellars. So home to some amazing wines and a great place for a couple or a family or a group of friends to go down and have a lovely experience before dinner, with the wine or wine and cheese pairings. Back outdoors, we have fishing on site. We've got our own team of gillies. We also have paddle boarding. And we've also introduced segways, which is an unusual one and a fun one. So you can do a segway tour on the estate. We also have some of the more traditional ones like falconry. We also have a country farm where we have horse riding, clay pigeon shooting, and archery all available as well. For the younger kids, we have a lovely playground here on the estate, which is just a couple minutes walk from the hotel. We also, during the summer and at holidays and weekends, have a science camp. So Junior Einsteins is on, and you'll see kids wandering around the estate in their white jackets, like you see in the center here of this image in front of us now. And they're off to make some little explosions and things happen for a couple hours every day, which is a lovely experience for them. And of course, we've got bikes for adults, but also bikes for kids. So we've got a lovely collection of bikes there for all the family, for all ages. And of course, I couldn't talk about the K Club and not talk about golf. So we're synonymous with golf in Ireland, and we have two amazing courses designed by Arnold Palmer, and we have Palmer North and Palmer South. So Palmer North is where the Ryder Cup was held in 2006, and we've been doing a lot of work on that course this year. We have literally removed a full layer of sod from all 18 fairways and replaced that with new seed and a layer of sand. And that's really in preparation for us hosting the Irish Open here in 2023. So next July, we'll have the Irish Open held at the K Club. In fact, just in the summer just gone, we've had the Challenge Tour, and that was played on Palmer South. So a great experience there as well. So two amazing courses and two very challenging courses right here on site. We've also invested in a new venture, which is K Golf World, and that is our indoor golf simulator venue. So it's got 8 simulator bays as well as a fantastic sports bar. So really great atmosphere in there. And it kind of does two things. It's great for the avid golfer because the statistical information that it gives you on your swing and all that detail, but it also is just a really great social aspect. And especially, I suppose, in the wintertime when it comes into its own, it's a lovely place to go for a couple hours and play any course in the world, and you can have a beer or a drink with that as well whilst you're there. And there's TV screens there playing all the sports that's on and in that moment in time as well. So great buzz in there in the wintertime especially. And just to give you a little bit of an introduction into our bedrooms, so we've 127 bedrooms in the hotel, and we have within that for families, we've got 30 interconnecting pairs of rooms. So we can set those up with one king or 2 singles, or whatever format the guest wishes to have, and we can guarantee that at time of check-in, which is fantastic. So lots of options and combinations there. We are also in the midst of a refurbishment of our bedrooms, and you'll see on the image on the right the new design and new feel, I suppose, that you're getting. Lovely neutral tones, very much calming tones that are coming through on the new interior design there. We also, of course, have lots of different suites, and we have the Liffey suites, the Kildare suites, and the Barton suites. So lots of different varieties there for an upgrade or for a VIP or for a more high-end client if they're coming to stay with us. And then on top of that, we have our presidential suites and the Viceroy and Imperial, which are actually our top-end suites, the Viceroy being my personal favorite. So you can see the new interior design coming through there on the right of that slide as well. So some lovely tones coming through, very calming tones. We also have some self-catering lodges on the estate. We've got 2, and those are both of the original gate lodges to the estate. So we've got a 4-bedroom and a 3-bedroom. You're looking at the 4-bedroom one, and these have both been completely refurbished and redesigned on the inside and extended over the last couple of years as well. So lovely options for a family or for a group of friends. And guests here have full access to the entire resort from all the food and beverage outlets, as well as all the activities. So great experience there, and actually really good value as well. And I suppose just to round up on the I suppose the new ownership, the investment, all of that is great, and it is really, really fantastic in terms of our product. But what you really see, the changes you really see happening, I suppose, are happening within our team and within the culture of the organization. And it's a remarkable achievement, I would say, in terms of the new ownership, what changes have come and what a positive place it is, and people are really enjoying, I suppose, working here, and that rubs off on our guests, and you can see it in the feedback online on TripAdvisor and various places, the positive feedback that is coming through as a result of this new culture that the owners and management are really encouraging and investing in. And I suppose I just want to show you one more little thing, and that is Straffen House. And Straffen House is our ultra luxury property. It is an 8-bedroom home with a 2-bedroom guest house adjoining it. So essentially 10 bedrooms, all of course en suite. Straffen House comes with its own private chef, and it's just an ultra amazing experience. Here you can see one of the dining rooms. You can see the lobby on the next image here. It's for, I suppose, a very discerning, a very special client, and it's a truly wonderful experience where a family can come and stay, come together, up to 20 adults or a mix of adults and children. It's got its own swimming pool. It's got its own cinema. As I said, it would always come with its own chef and its own concierge as well. So it's a real full service experience. It includes transfers to and from the airports. It includes golf, and we're excited to have that for our clients and for our guests. So that's the K Club. Thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you, John. The pictures are amazing. I haven't even seen some of those. That's great. We had a few questions come in. We have green fees. Can you give us an idea of the green fees, and are there any charges for bikes?
First of all, on the bikes are all complimentary. Green fees range from 120 to about 200, depending on whether you're on Palmer North or Palmer South and what time of the day you're playing. But that's generally the range.
Okay. We had a question about air conditioning. Can you talk about that? I know sometimes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We have approximately 3/4 of the hotel has air conditioning. I guess in the main, with a historic property as it is, it can be quite the challenge to get that into every room. But it is something, I suppose, that we're working on slowly but surely. But we do have rooms across all categories that have air conditioning. In fact, part of the building that you saw as the main hotel is only actually 5 years old. So there's half of our bedrooms in there all have air conditioning. They were built new. So that they all have air conditioning. So those are the Woodland View deluxe rooms and the River View deluxe rooms. So I would certainly suggest for the majority of your clients that those are the rooms that we book, and those our reservations team would always guide agents to those rooms for those luxury clients.
I have to say, though, I was all over the hotel, and really, I mean, the weather's really mild compared to what we're used to over here. So
this is quite often it's a requirement for a guest, but not when they're actually here. And
right.
You know, you're very much in the countryside. Popping open a window here is lovely to feel that air coming through, and it's quite nice. And that's generally what people will do, even in the air conditioned rooms. So there you go.
Yeah. And then on the kids camp, is there a charge for the kids camp?
There is a small fee for the junior Einsteins. It's like 10 to 15 euros depending. But yeah, it's a nominal fee.
Very good. Well, just to reiterate, I mean, when I was there, the service is pristine. I mean, the grounds and the property, but as you said, I can't say enough about the people, and just not pretentious at all, and so friendly, and they just seem happy to work there. And I can't wait to get more Americans, since that's kind of where we're doing our sales representation, over to see the K Club. So thank you for your time today.
Thank you. And we are always delighted to have Americans coming to stay. So please come. The doors are wide open, and we're ready and waiting to have you.
Absolutely. See you soon.
Thanks a lot. Take care, Natalie. Bye-bye.
Bye.